Okay, let's unpack this. We're diving into the world of fundraising merchandise today.
Hmm.
We've got a really fascinating case study in Australia's Music T-shirt Day.
Right.
And we'll look at that alongside some broader insights from, blogs about what makes fundraising items effective.
And some real world examples too, like Red Nose Day.
Exactly. Red Nose Day, the National Breast Cancer Foundation,
Yeah.
big players.
Okay.
So our goal here is to really understand how physical items, especially something like a T-shirt, you know, in the context of Australian music,
Yeah.
how that can actually drive donations and awareness.
And maybe pull out some key principles, things that could help anyone trying to raise money.
That's the plan. What makes this stuff work?
Well, it's quite compelling, isn't it? How a simple object can become this focal point for community support and charitable giving.
Yeah,
We're essentially looking at the psychology behind why people connect with these tangible things, these representations of a cause.
totally.
Yeah.
And, something that immediately jumped out from one source, a blog called Fundraising Made Easy,
Okay.
is just this straightforward idea that people often, well, they appreciate getting something concrete back when they donate.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's more than just an abstract act of generosity. There's a real tangible element of exchange there.
That blog post really touches on a fundamental aspect of human behavior, doesn't it? Reciprocity.
Right.
When people give, there's often this maybe subconscious desire for something in return, and merchandise kind of fulfills that, but in a non-obligatory way.
Like a thank you gift almost.
Exactly. It's a thank you. It's a reminder of their contribution, all rolled into one.
And it goes beyond just that personal reward, doesn't it? That same blog post cleverly calls merchandise a walking billboard. I love that image.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
When someone uses a branded tote bag or wears a charity T-shirt, they're actively spreading the word, like without even really trying.
That's the real brilliance of it, I think, that extended visibility.
Mm-hmm.
A donation is sort of a one-time act, right? But a piece of merchandise, it just keeps generating awareness over time.
Someone sees it, asks about it.
Exactly. Someone might see that branded item, ask about the cause, and that leads to this ripple effect. More engagement, maybe new supporters.
Yeah.
And that blog highlights the popular stuff, right? Tote bags, drinkware, stationary things people actually integrate into their lives.
Things you use.
Right. And of course, wearables like caps, beanies, T-shirts, plus those accessible smaller things like wristbands and key rings.
Okay, so this is where it gets really interesting, I think. Let's zoom in on Music T-shirt Day.
Right, the case study.
Yeah, this initiative in Australia started back in 2013 with Triple J Radio. They used the hashtag #AusBand T-shirt Day initially.
Oh, okay. Just bands first.
Yeah, and interestingly, it drew inspiration from something similar in the UK. Wear your old band T-shirt to work day.
Ah, okay. So tapping into something that already existed culturally.
Seems like it.
What's fascinating there, when you think about the UK inspiration, is that pre-existing emotional connection people have with band T-shirts.
Totally.
They aren't just, pieces of fabric. They represent personal memories, shared experiences, concerts, a sense of identity even.
Yeah, absolutely. My old band shirts mean a lot.
Exactly. So the Australian initiative really cleverly tapped into that existing cultural thing, but for a philanthropic purpose. Smart.
And it evolved pretty quickly, too. By 2015, they broadened it to hashtag Music Shirt Day. So solo artists were included.
Right, more inclusive.
And ARIA, the Australian Recording Industry Association, they came on board then, too.
Okay, getting official industry backing.
But it seems like the real focus, the specific charity link, kind of solidified in 2017. That's when it specifically started raising funds for Support Act.
Ah, Support Act. Yeah, they do great work.
Yeah, the charity dedicated to helping people in the Australian music industry who are facing hardship.
And that concentrated effort towards a specific beneficiary within a community people easily identify with, that's got to be a key factor in its success.
You think so?
Yeah, it creates such a clear, direct link. By participating, by buying that shirt or donating, you're directly supporting Aussie musicians, roadies, industry folks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And they really leaned into the merchandise side of things.
How so?
Well, each year, they create these limited edition T-shirt designs just for Music T-shirt Day.
Limited edition, okay. Creates demand.
Right. And every dollar of net profit goes straight to Support Act.
Wow. All of it. Net profit. Okay.
Yeah. And in 2023, they had some massive names involved in the designs. John Farnham, Cold Chisel, Kylie Minogue,
Piley.
Gang of Youths,
Mm.
G-Flip. I mean, that's a lineup that definitely gets attention.
For sure. And the involvement of artists like that, it isn't just about, star power. It gives the merchandise this sense of exclusivity, collectability almost.
Yeah, like a special tour shirt, you can only get that.
Exactly. It transforms a simple fundraising t-shirt into something fans genuinely want to own, which obviously drives more participation.
And the fundraising results, they really speak for themselves. In 2023 alone, they raised over $700,000 for more than 680 different fundraisers.
$700,000, that's huge.
Actually, wait, hang on. I'm just double-checking the Wikipedia source here. Wow, okay. It says they raised a remarkable $904,656 in 2023.
900 grand.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Even more impactful than I first thought.
That's incredible. That kind of exponential increase really just underscores how effective this whole model is.
Definitely. Looking back, the momentum's been building like crazy. 2018, it was around $111,000.
Okay.
Then $260,000 in 2019. By 2022, they were already at $637,000.
So nearly doubling, then doubling again almost. Steady, strong growth.
Yeah, it's become more than just an event, hasn't it? It feels like an annual tradition now.
Yeah, it fosters a strong sense of community participation. And those growing donation totals, they clearly show more awareness, more enthusiasm for backing Aussie musicians this way.
And it keeps evolving. In 2024, Support Act launched Mob Music T-Shirt Day.
Oh, interesting. What's that?
It's specifically dedicated to Aboriginal Australian and Torres Strait Islander musicians. Triple J presenter Nookie is the ambassador.
That's fantastic. Really positive step.
Yeah, great move towards more inclusivity, addressing specific needs within that broader music community.
And it shows how adaptable the core idea is, right? You can scale it, you can target it.
Yeah.
By creating this focused event, focused merchandise for First Nations musicians, they're highlighting an area where support's crucial and building, a more inclusive vibe within the whole scene.
So, okay, we've seen this massive success with Aus Music T-Shirt Day, built around music and T-shirts.
Yeah.
But how do these ideas apply elsewhere?
Good question. How does it translate?
Well, another source we looked at, a blog from a promotional merchandise company, gives some broader examples,
Okay.
like for charity runs and walks. They suggest practical stuff, like custom sports bottles, towels.
Useful during the event itself.
Yeah, exactly. Alongside the expected branded T-shirts and caps.
Yeah.
And even like commemorative fundraising medals and wristbands.
Right.
And you see this all the time, don't you, at cancer research runs or whatever. You often get a T-shirt just for signing up.
Precisely. And those items serve that dual purpose we talked about.
Right.
They're useful for participants then and there, but they also act as these lasting reminders of their involvement, their contribution.
The walking billboard again?
Yeah, extends the visibility of the cause, any sponsors involved. And those medals especially offer that tangible symbol of achievement,
Uh-huh.
and support.
Then for animal charities, they suggest things like custom pet bandanas, which is pretty clever, right? A direct tie-in.
Yeah, I like that.
Along with the usual tote bags, branded key rings, lapel pins, and they even highlight eco-friendly products.
Which makes sense. That often aligns well with the values of animal welfare or conservation groups.
Yeah, good point.
The key there seems to be that the merchandise resonates with the specific interests of the audience they're trying to reach.
Right.
Pet bandanas. Immediate connection for pet owners. Eco-friendly stuff. Appeals to people who care about sustainability. It makes buying it feel more aligned with their values.
Makes the purchase feel better. Okay, what about kids' charities?
For children's charities, the ideas get more playful, branded coloring sets, stationery packs.
Things kids can actually use.
Yeah, and comforting things like custom plush toys and, of course, T-shirts again. Plus, fun event stuff like balloons and wristbands.
Right.
The blog points out that these kinds of interactive, child-friendly items are great for getting families involved, creating positive vibes around the charity.
Yeah, and engaging the younger crowd and their parents often needs that more interactive, maybe more emotionally resonant merchandise.
Like a plush toy.
Exactly. A plush toy can create a really strong emotional bond, become a treasured keepsake, and subtly reinforce support for the cause over time.
And for, say, cancer fundraising campaigns more broadly, not just the runs.
Well, they mention the classic items, like custom pink ribbon lapel pins, instantly recognizable symbols, right? Mm-hmm. The pink ribbon, yeah.
But also, maybe more premium items. Candles, engraved keepsakes, things like that. alongside the more activity-focused stuff like sports visors and drink bottles, so kind of different levels of items.
Yeah, exactly. It illustrates that sort of tiered approach to merchandise. Lapel pins are an easy, accessible entry point for broad support, visibility.
Cheap and cheerful, but visible.
Right. While the fancier items might appeal to higher-level donors or work as meaningful thank you gifts, it caters to different levels of engagement.
Makes sense. Spread the options.
And then finally, just for general local or national charities, they suggest those practical everyday things again. Reusable coffee cups, tote bags,
Well,
the reliable staples.
yeah, can't go wrong with those.
Plus maybe more professional items like nice notebooks and pens, and even seasonal things like custom scarves and beanies for, say, winter campaigns.
These items often tap into those broader community values, like the growing focus on sustainability with reusable cups. And because they're used every day, they ensure frequent exposure, extending that brand visibility, subtly promoting the charity's message just out and about in the community.
We could even see these principles working with really established charities. Red Nose Day, for instance.
Right, beyond just the nose itself.
Yeah, they sell a whole range of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Plush toys, you mentioned them earlier, featuring popular characters like the Wiggles, Aussie animals.
Leveraging popular culture. Smart.
And practical things, too. Socks, beanies, tote bags. It's quite a diverse range, mostly affordable, appealing options.
Yeah, Red Nose Day does a great job leveraging pop culture and that child-friendly imagery to broaden their appeal. Different ages, different interests.
Yeah.
And that variety of merchandise means people can support the cause at whatever price point works for them,
Yeah.
which boosts overall participation.
And the National Breast Cancer Foundation, they also have a dedicated shop online. T-shirts, hoodies, reusable water bottles, pin bundles.
Standard stuff, but effective.
Yeah, but importantly, they explicitly state that every purchase supports game-changing breast cancer research.
That direct link again. Crucial.
They make it really clear, linking buying the merch directly to the core mission.
And that kind of direct, transparent messaging is so important.
Why do you say that?
Well, it reinforces the idea that the purchase isn't just, transactional. It's not just buying a thing. It's a meaningful contribution to the charity's vital work. That gives people an extra incentive to buy.
Right, you feel like your purchase is actually doing something.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's try and pull all this together. What are the key ingredients here for making fundraising merchandise really work?
Well, relevance seems huge, doesn't it?
Yeah, number one, maybe. The item should logically connect with the cause. Like we said, music T-shirts for a music charity.
Pink ribbons for breast cancer.
Exactly.
That alignment, it strengthens the emotional connection for the supporter.
Right.
Wearing it or using it becomes a way to outwardly show, I support this, I believe in this. It's a bit like identity signaling.
Yeah, definitely. And then utility desirability.
Yeah.
That seems critical too.
Making stuff people actually want or need.
Right. Offering items people will genuinely use, tote bags, water bottles, that increases the chance they'll buy it, and it extends that walking billboard effect we keep coming back to.
Yeah, functionality really enhances the perceived value. If someone thinks, oh, I could actually use that, they're more likely to see it as a worthwhile purchase that also happens to support a good cause. Makes it way more appealing.
Visibility is kind of the obvious one, but you can't ignore it.
No way. Branded items are just constant little reminders of the charity and its mission out there in public spaces. And that repeated exposure helps build brand recognition. It can spark curiosity, start conversations, leading to more awareness, maybe attracting new donors who wouldn't have found the charity otherwise.
And that emotional connection piece, like we saw with the band T-shirts, I think it's massive. Merchandise can create this real sense of belonging, of shared support. Wearing that Os Music T-shirt makes you feel part of a community, all united for the same reason.
That feeling of community shared identity, it's such a powerful motivator.
Yeah.
It lets people visibly demonstrate their values, show their support for something they really care about. And that creates a stronger bond with the organization itself.
Offering a range of price points looks like a smart move, too.
Yeah, tiered offerings.
Having different items, different costs. It just lets more people participate at a level that feels right for them.
Totally. That inclusivity is important. It makes sure that money isn't the main barrier preventing people from showing support. It broadens your base of potential contributors, allows for different levels of getting involved.
And finally, those strategic partnerships, like Os Music T-shirt Day working with Kylie or Cold Chisel.
Yeah, leveraging star power or brand recognition.
That can seriously boost the appeal and the overall reach of the merchandise.
For sure. Collaborations with well-known figures or brands can inject excitement, credibility.
Hmm.
It just attracts a wider audience by tapping into the partner's existing fan base or reputation.
So, okay, the big picture here. It seems pretty clear that tangible merchandise is well, a really potent tool in the fundraising world.
Yeah, definitely a powerful tool.
It gives donors something back, that tangible return for their generosity. It amplifies the cause's message
The
effectively.
billboard effect.
Right. And it can really cultivate that strong sense of community and shared purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And Oz Music T-shirt Day really stands out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
As a prime example of how tapping into a pre-existing cultural connection music, in their case, can lead to just remarkable success.
Indeed. The success of Oz Music T-shirt Day really highlights how a thoughtfully designed, well-executed merchandise strategy,
Yeah.
especially when it's centered around an item that resonates deeply with its target audience.
The T-shirt.
Like the T-shirt, it can generate substantial funds and significantly lift awareness for a really worthy cause.
Okay, so here's a final thought for you, the listener. Thinking about the different causes that resonate with you personally, what kind of tangible item do you think would be the most effective? What would really mobilize support and forge that lasting connection with that particular mission?
Yeah, what's the T-shirt for the cause you care about?
Exactly. Definitely something worth mulling over.